Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fireside chat. I'm Steven from the Swire Finance Programme. So the finance program has provided a great opportunity to cultivate or develop the all-rounded financial leaders who can become the CFO in the organization. Joining me today, I'm very lucky to have two colleagues of mine, Penny and Mark, to share their experiences alongside the Swire Finance Program. Welcome, Penny and Mark, to the Fireside chat. So let's deep dive into both of you. What drives you, what motivates you to join the finance program?
I started my career in one of the big four accounting firms. And after a few years spending there, I realized I wanted to pursue a career in a commercial environment with more variety. As Steven just mentioned, the Swire Finance Program is designed to cultivate the next generation for finance leaders, and it offers a unique opportunities for all the participants to rotate in different roles and in different industries. And this program emphasizes a lot on leadership skills, on commercial awareness, and also professional growth. I think all of this just resonate with my own personal goals of career development.
Well, that's exciting to hear. What about you, Mark?
My story was quite similar to Penny's as well. I qualified in London with KPMG, and I reached that crossroads that I'm sure a lot of people reach in their career when I knew deep down I probably didn't want to stay in audit, but there were parts of that job that I really enjoyed, the rotating around different industries, different clients. So when I saw the Swire Finance Program, I realized that it could be the best of both worlds. I can get more commercial experience, but also I don't have to settle down in one place yet. I can still explore lots of different industries. And so I joined, and I've been here ever since.
Well, that's very exciting to hear. But like you guys already mentioned, one unique aspect of the program is to providing a diversified exposure to different industry, different rotation opportunities. So let's hear something about your stories, Mark, where you have been rotated so far, what jobs you have been taken so far.
Sure. So my first role was actually here in the head office. I worked for Swire Pacific as a corporate finance manager. So I was looking at capital allocation across the group. I was looking at business cases coming from the divisions, and I was lucky enough to work on one M&A project. So it was really good before I then went and worked in the different businesses to get a head office perspective and really to get a better understanding of the Swire culture.
Have you ever thought or thinking, I want to work somewhere else in the rest of the world?
So I was quite clear when I went through the interview process that I wanted to move around the world, move around the group, get quite a diversified experience. So after working in head office for a year and a half, an opportunity came up for me to work in Singapore on a project, an M&A project. So I moved very quickly to Singapore and stayed there for 6 months. And then just when I thought I was starting to settle into Singapore, another opportunity came up in Papua New Guinea. And so I moved to Papua New Guinea for 3 years. I went and did a head of finance role. So it was a step up in terms of seniority and really aided my career development. And then after spending 3 years in Papua New Guinea, another opportunity came up in Hong Kong. And I was able to go and work in a different field and more in financial services. So looking at different parts of finance that I hadn't seen before back in Hong Kong. So it was a really diverse career, and I was always kept on my toes.
The diversity, if in short, how does it benefit you for your career from long run?
I think when you start to rotate around, you get little bits of yourself from everywhere you go. So working in different cultures, seeing how people do things differently, you might not agree with all of it, and not all of it will work in each place you work, but you start to collect a wide variety of tools that you can then deploy depending on whatever situation you find yourself in. So I think it's more about having a diversified experience, keeping all of those things that you've learned, and then knowing when to apply them.
Let's talk about you, Penny. I know you have been in the Chinese mainland with different rotations, different opportunities.
Yes.
There's quite a lot of exciting opportunities and moving forward in the career while in the mainland of China. Could you share us a little bit more about your experience and different roles as well?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
A little bit different from what Mark has been through with this program. I basically working with Swire Properties since I joined the Swire Finance Program. So when I'm working in Swire Properties, I've tried the positions in both head office and also project management office in the environment of both subsidiaries and joint ventures in different cities in mainland China. So back to the very first project assigned during my first rotation, I was leading a very critical tax reform across all the project centers in Chinese mainland. I was allowed to integrate all the financial analysis and financial models into formulating and directing the strategy of the core business. I think that working in a head office just gave me a bigger picture of how the business overall looks like. And after that, I spent 1 year in Sanlitun Taikoo Li Beijing before I officially assumed the role of Assistant Finance Director in Taikoo Li Chengdu. So both Taikoo Li's in Beijing and Chengdu, they are among the most successful retail malls in China. And working in a project management company was very different as compared with working in a head office. You're going to have extensive opportunities to cooperate with functional leaders on decision-making process. And you get in touch with the details of how to run a business in investment properties. And after that, currently I'm on my 4th rotation with Swire Finance Programme. I'm overseeing the finance department of Indigo Phase 1 and Indigo Phase 2. And after the completion of Indigo Phase 2, the so-called Great Indigo, it will become the largest project that Swire Properties operates in mainland China in terms of scale. So this role is more challenging compared with the previous ones because I need to pay extra attention to stakeholder management, to treasury, to the integration of 2 different projects, and also create synergy. Mm-hmm. So I think each new assignment just gives me these opportunities to work on a completely different part of the business. So this is what I found most excited about.
Yeah. I also want to share a little bit of my experiences. You've been guys joining 10 years, 12 years. That's been a long time. And I actually joined the Swire Finance Program 2 years ago. And I've been allocated, not property, not Papua New Guinea, but in Cathay Pacific back in 2022. So I was always an aviation enthusiast when I was a kid. And always see how working in an aviation company looks like. And this great opportunity as a finance business partner really gave me a huge exposure on see the airline business as a whole. Especially I experienced what the thriving of the Cathay Pacific after 2022 or 2023. So this all gives us like a vibrant involvement in the business is that understanding how you can drive the value and become an influencer basically to the bigger decisions, how you play your role as a finance in each operating companies. It's quite exciting, I would say. So, okay, speaking of the exciting opportunities, and we've been noticed that innovation has become ever important in our daily working life. So I would just wonder, in both of your working experiences, what kind of the innovation has impacted your daily work? Maybe let's start with Penny.
Sure. Yeah. So when it comes to innovation, I really want to bring out the digitalization transformation in the finance department in Swire Properties. So innovation in digitalization has really become a game changer for our operations. For example, we're exploring the ways to using AI for budgeting, using blockchain to monitor the entire payment cycle, and also using RPA, which is the robotic process automation for journal posting and for report generation. So this really streamlined our old processes and cut down the manual errors. And this means we're going to have more time partnering with our functional departments and creating more values and enjoy more fun part of the job.
What innovation has impact or play a significant role in your daily work?
I think broadly speaking, you can define it in 2 ways. There's the innovation that happens within our finance teams, like Penny said, but also there's innovation which happens within our businesses that's outside of finance. And I think one of the most important things that we can do is look to partner with the business to try and articulate what the benefits are in projects that they're aspiring to do. I think as accountants, we're trained very well in how to recognize and measure costs, but something that is a little bit more tricky for us is to take a step back and to think about how to articulate some unknown benefits in projects. So I've spent a lot of time working with various departments in the businesses that I've been in, trying to help them realize and formulate business cases to put forward projects that will really change the industry and the company for the better.
I think without a doubt, the innovation has played an ever significant role not only to driving the businesses, but also to build up our capability as well. Okay, let's talk a little bit of the challenging part. Mark, throughout this journey with Swire and any different roles that you have been taken on, what's the biggest challenges, if you can give us one?
I think one of the pitfalls about moving around so much is you get quite a broad range of knowledge, but you don't necessarily become a specialist in any one field. So for me, it's always been when I've had to work on a particularly challenging project, the one that comes to mind is a systems implementation, having not done it before at a more junior level, and then being thrown in and told to kind of marshal the resources and manage that project from end to end. It can be difficult because you can't necessarily draw on the experience of doing it before.
Seems like a quite big project, involve too many stakeholders. So how do you leverage the resources under the Swire spectrum to help you solve the problem or tackle the challenge?
I think one of the great things about being a part of the program is you instantly have a network of people that you can contact at any time and ask the question, because it's very likely that whilst you may not have worked on that project before,
yes,
somebody that you know has and has done it in the recent past. So when I was facing that problem, I immediately knew 2 or 3 people that came to mind that I could pick up the phone and say, have you got 5 minutes to talk this through? And everyone is so helpful to each other on the program. Everyone understands that we're all going through the same sorts of difficulties. And so after speaking to them, it becomes a lot clearer, and you can really leverage the other knowledge within the other operating companies.
It's good to hear, basically. Leverage the network, actually improve the efficiency and also tackle the problems in the right way. Really help us quite a lot. And coming to you, Penny, is there any big challenge you can think of, if you can name one, throughout the journey with Swire?
Yes, I think personally, I would say managing a team, because people management is the biggest challenge for me compared with other problems. Currently, I'm managing a team over 20 person and in 2 different locations. So I have to take care of 2 teams at the same time and also align all those priorities and all the goals between these 2 teams. But luckily, I got support from my supervisors, and also I can apply what I've learned during trainings using those models and also the motivation techniques to help building a stronger team and more connected.
So talking about this, the program also offers a great system to support each one of us development and to also help the business thrive and grow as well. So Penny, could you tell us a little bit about what kind of training and development opportunities you have been received from the program so far?
So this is basically my favorite part of this program. Actually, I've just finished the amazing training last week. I've already missed my classmate and my coaches. So consistently, I was given chances to attend all kinds of leadership trainings, including in-house tailored leadership trainings and also professional trainings based on your career level. And also we got chance to attend external trainings. For example, a short-term course in INSEAD. Maybe Mark can elaborate a bit, because I know you've been through a fabulous summer last year in Fontainebleau campus. And besides this, what excites me most is that you got a unique opportunity in this program to interact with the C-level executives. You're going to have mentors who are actually CEOs, CFOs, COOs, or someone even sitting on the board to talk to you. I'm really grateful to all my mentors coming from Swire Finance Programme or even Swire Women's Network and all of my supervisors. They really welcoming my questions and genuinely wanting me to grow, to learn, to become a true leader.
And your exciting journey about the INSEAD in France to share as well, Mark?
I think there's lots of opportunities. We go to INSEAD twice during the program. I went to Singapore, I think about 5 or 6 years ago, and as Penny shared, I was in France last summer. I think what sums it up is when we spoke to the program coordinator from INSEAD, he asked us how long we thought other companies did training there. And he said that the longest other training they do is for 1 week. And in Swire, we're the only one. We do 4 weeks. So that's 4 weeks where we leave our companies, we leave our jobs, we leave our families, and we go to Paris or Fontainebleau for 4 weeks. It's a huge investment of time, but it really helps to be able to disengage from your job and really focus on the training that you're being given, which is some of the best in the world.
Yeah, I think that's a great opportunity, basically, to have people, like Mark said, away from work, but also to refresh our knowledges in a way. So talking about the training, I think this must be very appealing to many of our applicants. But to become applicants successful to this program, there are certain crucial qualities needs to be met. Maybe you guys can give us some your thought based on your knowledge is what kind of candidates we are looking for in your view, based on your experiences in Swire. Penny, goes with you first.
I think actually there are quite a lot of qualities we're searching for in our candidates, but I would like to name two. One is adaptability, and the other one is the curiosity to learn. I think given the rotation requirement in this program, adaptability was quite crucial because it helps you to transit quickly and smoothly into a new environment. And also this kind of flexibility would help you quickly respond to all kinds of challenges in different roles. And also a curious mindset would drive you to explore new ideas and in new perspectives and keeps you learning continuously all this way in this journey.
Anything to Mark based on your experience?
I think Penny's absolutely right. You do need adaptability and you do need to have that curiosity. But I think beyond that, the roles that we do always have an element of leadership in. So I think it's very important that anyone who comes onto the program is comfortable with that and strives to be a good leader going forward. I also think that given the nature of the industries in which we all operate, we don't want people who are too siloed into the finance way of thinking. We need people who are commercially aware and commercially interested in what's going on in the business, and so that they can speak to different departments and really add value across the organization, not just in the core finance roles.
To reckon on this point, I remember one of our boss mentioned who they really appreciate the quality of a right candidate or a person is who knows themselves well. Probably that's also another suggestion to many of the applicants. Just be true to yourself and know yourself and improve and drive yourself as well. So that's almost conclude the end of our journey of the Fireside Chat. Thank you very much for your time. But before we finally conclude, can you give some final tips to our potential candidates or potential applicants?
I think it's a unique job and it's a unique opportunity. So you need to ask lots of questions to make sure you're comfortable with what it entails. So my advice would be, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to bring things up in interviews to really help give you an understanding of what the role is. And if you're still really excited after you've done that, then it's definitely the role for you.
How about you, Penny? Last tip for our potential applicants?
I think the genuine passion can set you aside from other candidates and also do some research about the company. It is quite crucial to know Swire's core value and also the different business sectors, given its very big conglomerates.
This whole discussion really underscores the value or the belief the finance program. The extensive learning and exposure in the finance spectrum finally delivers where we can become a future finance leaders, become the CFO in this organization. Finally, thank you very much for your watching and wish everyone has a nice day.